Yo, what is up everybody? We're back with another part of the What If Asta Was the Ghost Rider series. Last time we left off with Asta receiving the power and basically beating nobles, as well as that chain mage. So without further ado, let's get into this part. Asta's training in the forest. He does 2,000 push-ups for a warm-up. I mean, for Asta, that's nothing. He continues on to do some sit-ups, and then he proceeds on to what would be just some sword training. Slicing down the tree, working on his muscles as much as can be. And he's noticed something. Ever since he's gotten this power, it seems his body's rapidly growing, as his strength is too. Honestly, he doesn't know what's going on. He was once 5'4", now it seems he's nearly 5'9". Asta begins to think to himself, man, at this rate I'll be wearing all my clothes like they're underwear. This isn't good. I like it though. I mean, I'm getting much stronger, am I not? He proceeds to go back to training, slicing at the tree once more, slicing it completely in half with one blow. Damn, I really am. As he continues on to change towards his chain training, I want to see the durability of this, as he wraps it around a nearby tree, holding it and grabbing a sword and striking down. It doesn't shatter. Huh. This is supposed to cut through magic, though. Are you telling me these aren't magic abilities? Oh, damn. Well, that's quite interesting, Asta thinks. He continues to work on his abilities for the next 2 days, not even returning home, all the way up until he returns home just to feast. I mean, he's about to leave the next day with Yuno after all. As he walks in, they suddenly all rush towards him. Asta, what's wrong with you? Why are you so tall? One of the men says, basically the old man church guy. He's like, why are you so tall? Asta simply replies, a growth spurt, I guess, I don't know. They all look at him astonished, especially Yuno. You have to be at least 6 foot now, Yuno says. I don't know if that's even possible. You gained what? 6 inches? No, that would be 10 inches. You're like 6'2". How is this even possible? You went from a short stack to a fucking beefcake in a matter of no time. Asta just scratches the back of his head. You guys are giving me a headache. Can you guys give me some time? I really don't even fit in these clothes, so it's restricting my blood flow. Hey old man, you mind letting me borrow some? Sure, Asta, I can let you borrow an outfit, but I'm not even as tall as you. It's better than this. This is so damn tight. As his thighs are starting to just tear the clothes off. The old man rushes and gets him, proper clothing. He puts it on and he's wearing what seems to be a church's robe. Well, this doesn't really fit my personality necessarily, especially since I seem to have a demon inside of me, Asta thinks. But yeah, it'll work. They end up eating and then proceeding to leave, or going to sleep. They wake up in the morning and are getting ready to embark on their journey, Asta and Yuno. Everyone's wishing them good luck, and basically they mention what would be Asta's allowed to come back whenever he wants. Asta just scoffs at them. I know you mean goodwill by this. But you know how annoying it is. You know how hurtful it is to hear you guys compliment Yuno and know that and reassure him that he's gonna get in. But to tell me that I'm not gonna make it, that the likelihood is so small, you don't think I know that? You don't think I put in all the work? It pisses me off. And that's why I gave up on loving you, Lady Lily. You weren't really that supportive, so I'll be going now. Everyone stands there with their mouths just dropped, wide open. Even Yuno is surprised, but Asta continues to carry on, walking away, and his pace is extremely fast. Yuno has to run to catch up. As they begin on their journey, Yuno asks him, Asta, what's changed about you? I mean, you're not even as annoying as you were before. You seem to be more moody. Did puberty finally hit you, Runt? Asta looks over. I don't know what you're talking about. From my perspective, nothing's changed. I really don't know what you're referring to whatsoever. Asta does know what he's talking about. It seems me selling my soul gave up some of my emotions. That's fine. I like this new me more. Asta begins to walk into the capital, or the royal capital along with Yuno. I need some new clothing, he says. You mind helping me out? We have a little bit of money after all. Yuno looks at him. Sure, alright. Let's go to that shop over there. As they open up the door and walk in, everyone immediately goes silent. Hill commoners is when they do speak up. Asta just simply ignores him, picking out what seems to be a full black clothing lineup. I don't know why, but this leather jacket here is really calling to me. He grabs it. He grabs the leather pants, and then grabs the boots. This'll be great. I like it. As he puts it on afterwards. Damn, you just spent half our fucking money, says. Hey man, good clothes come at a price. It's not my fault to look this damn sexy. It's just size. Asta ends up walking into what would be the training exam area with Yuno. As they walk in, suddenly the birds begin to fly towards Asta, wanting to just peck at his body. This annoys Asta, and suddenly his body grows hot. It's very similar to a flame type thing, and they just immediately fly off, realizing that if they stay on him, they will be barbecued to a crisp. And then his temperature drops down to normal again. That was weird. It seems I might have some sort of flame abilities, Asta thinks. Well, I can't really say it. It doesn't make sense. I don't even have mana. But hey, as long as I have these abilities, I'm fine. The captains are introduced, and suddenly everything is explained on how the whole ordeal is going to happen, or how the whole exam is going to partake. Asta simply looks at them. This shouldn't be too hard. But then, the first test comes into play. Suddenly you have to use your mana to strike down what would be these pieces of paper, all at the same time? He can't do this, he doesn't have mana. And that's when he just waits to the second test and speaks up. Hey you, looking straight at what would be Vengeance. I can't partake in this test anymore. It's simply made for people with mana, and I don't have it. To make up for the lack of my mana and the lack of this, I want to fight one of the captains. That might be cocky, but I really don't care. I'll show you what I am truly capable of doing. If you give me a captain, I'll whoop his ass, no problem. Then, I can join one of your squads. Does that sound right? Suddenly, the Silver Eagles captain, Novell, gets up. I think that's his name. So you think you can beat us, you mere commoner? That's an insult. Usually I wouldn't bother with such a thing, but I want to put you into your place. Asta looks at him. So you think you could beat me, Nozel? I won't let that happen. Nozel jumps down, staring at Asta, as everyone clears, beginning to speak. Does this commoner really think he can compete with him? Even Yuno is in shock. What is Asta thinking? He may be kinda strong, and maybe he was able to beat a magic knight, but he's not that strong. Asta looks at Nozel. I'll let you go first, old man. I'm not old. I just have white hair. Okay, whatever. Just get to working. Suddenly, Nozel sends the Mercury flying towards Asta. Asta dodges, pulling out his magic sword, slicing through a batch of it. Everyone's in shock. What? Did he just slice through mana? This doesn't make sense. He suddenly rushes towards Nozel, but Nozel puts up a shield. Asta slices through the shield, no problem. And then he kicks back Nozel. Nozel gets angry, suddenly realizing he's gonna lose to a commoner at this rate. Everyone's in shock. This boy's putting up a decent fight, but Nozel won't let this happen. He slams his hands together. Suddenly a boatload of mercury surrounds what would be Asta. It makes it so that he can't move. This should be able to kill you. I'll simply make so many spears that you can't dodge them, he says. Suddenly, he smirks, thinking that he won. But Asta won't let that happen. Honestly, he thought he was dead, all the way up until the point his bones begin to incinerate. Or it seems that his bones begin to show and his skin begins to incinerate. And then, a burst of power erupts, exploding everything. Asta's body is quickly overtaken by flames in front of everyone, and his skeleton begins to show. A different him appears, the spirit Zerathos. He rushes towards what would be Nozel, grabbing him by his throat, slamming him against the wall. Nozel spits up some blood. Asta simply grabs him, or the Ghost Rider grabs him, throwing him against the wall again. He's wrapped around the chain, pulling him towards him, sending more chains wrapping around, sending him down, up, down, slamming him around. This Ghost Rider is merciless as he grabs him by his hair, ripping it off. Asta suddenly returns back to his normal form. As for everyone, they're shocked. Looking onward, this runt without any magic just whooped a captain's ass like it was nothing. How could this be, they think. Then the question suddenly pops up. Who wants this guy on their team? Vengeance raises his hand, Yami raises his hand, Nozel even raises his hand. He may be barely conscious at this point, but he knows that this kid's strong after all, and he can't let that go, even if he's a mere commoner. Then everyone else raises their hands as well. So I get to choose, huh? Asta thinks. That's quite remarkable. I think I'll go with the Black Bulls. I mean, after all, they're the most wild, and they will give me the most freedom. I think I'll go with them. Yami suddenly jumps up and he's like, oh yeah! This kid knows what he's talking about. I like you. He jumps down, immediately patting the kid on the back. Man, you're pretty big for a fucking scrawny kid. What is this? You're like my size, 6'2" at least. I'm only 6 foot. I didn't know much people could get taller than I was. But hey, I like you, kid. After all, you just beat Nozel's ass. And that's where we're going to leave this part off on. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications.